Do you find yourself stuck in the same big chunky chord shapes that box you in and limit your creative options? I see so many players falling into this trap even after they've been playing guitar for decades. It doesn't have to be this way though. You could be making your chords sound way more melodic and creative by using shapes that are actually much easier to play. And not only are they great for your rhythm playing, you can use them in your soloing too. Once you get into this way of playing, you'll never look at chords the same way again. And make sure to grab the free PDF with all the diagrams. The link is in the description. Let's go. Most guitar players think of chords as these big grips that you just grab with your left hand and then you strum the thing and then you move on to the next big grip. This kind of playing definitely has its place and it's a sound that we strongly associate with the guitar, but do you really want to spend the rest of your life stuck with no other options? You can get a lot more flexibility from smaller chords. Let's say we had a progression of 4 major chords, G, D, A, and C. Most people would play that with open chords like this. And if you know how to move your bar chords, then it might look something like this. So that's great, you already have 2 creative options to play with. But inside of those big bar chords, we have these mini chords that are much easier to play. These are called triads. Here's one of them that gets used a lot. The cool thing about using this smaller shape is it frees up your fingers to play little embellishments with the pinky like this. Now let's take this little shape through the progression that we looked at earlier. Okay, now we have a way of adding a bit of melody to our chords instead of being stuck with those big inflexible bar chord grips. But there's a bit of an issue with this. If we think of each string as having its own little melody that moves from chord to chord, then every melody moves the exact same amount, and that amount is huge. This gives us a sound that is not very smooth. Think of a singer trying to sing this. It's not exactly a very singable melody. To solve that problem, let's introduce another chord shape that we'll use for the D and C chords. Now let's check out our chord progression with this change. That is a much smoother sound. You can really hear the melody now, especially on the B string. Notice how the notes mostly never move more than a couple of frets, and sometimes the note even stays the same when the chord changes. This is called voice leading, and it's the thing that's missing from that bar chord version that we started with. But we're not done. Remember I said that the notes mostly never move by more than a couple of frets. Well, that first movement from G to D is the one that is a bit of a jump. In order to fix that, we need one more shape. And this one is a little bit trickier than the other 2. So now our full progression looks like this. So now we have 3 different chord shapes for major chords. That means we can play the whole progression 3 different ways. We've already looked at one of them. Let's look at the other 2 options. And the other way takes us way up the fretboard. So now instead of just our open chords and bar chords, we have these melodic chord movements that take us from way up the fretboard all the way down to the open position. This means that we have the freedom to choose which ones work best for our situation. And don't forget that we can add those little embellishments like we did earlier, and we can play the notes separately or strum them or even use our fingers. So now you have these mini major chords on one set of strings, but this is just the beginning. There are 3 string sets to go, and we still haven't even talked about minor chords yet. With just 3 larger chord shapes for major and minor, you could have the entire fretboard mapped out on every string set in every key. So if that's something you're into, check out this video next.